Hello there. Welcome aboard Travel Vibes, where seasoned advice meets your sense of adventure. If you're here, chances are you're either planning your very first cruise, or maybe you're in that phase where you're scrolling through tips, hungry for every nugget of wisdom you can find. You're curious. You love discovering how things really work. And above all, you want your journey to feel smooth, intentional, and maybe even a little luxurious, without breaking the bank. Now, I used to think the cruise cabin was just a place to sleep. 4 walls, a bed, a compact bathroom, nothing to dwell on. After all, I was going for the sunsets, the shore excursions, the all-you-can-eat buffet, right? But everything changed the moment I opened that door for the first time. That tiny room? It wasn't just a room. It became my sanctuary, my quiet corner of the sea. So today, I'm sharing exactly what I wish I knew about my cruise cabin before I ever set sail. Because when you really understand your space, you unlock a smoother, calmer, and more joyful experience on board. If this sounds like your kind of travel wisdom, don't forget to subscribe to Travel Vibes so you never miss a tip that could make your next voyage your best one yet. Number 1, the cabin secret. It's a clever little fortress, not just a room. Here's something I never really thought about until I was actually standing in the middle of my cruise cabin, suitcase still zipped. It wasn't flashy, no chandeliers, no fancy wallpaper, just simple, clean, compact. But then I started noticing the details, and that's when I realized just how brilliant these little spaces truly are. Cruise cabins are like the Swiss Army knives of hotel rooms. Every surface, every corner has a purpose. There's no paint on the walls. Why? Because with all that ocean humidity and thousands of guests sailing in and out each month, paint would peel faster than your sunscreen on a Caribbean beach. Instead, everything's metal or coated to survive moisture, messes, and mayhem. Even the ceiling, even the doors. It's like your room is wrapped in armor, ready for anything. And that armor? It's magnetic. Literally. You can stick hooks on the walls, hang up your keys, clip your sunglasses, or post a cheeky reminder to grab your sunscreen before heading to the pool. I once saw a couple who brought a full magnetic spice rack on board. Overkill? Maybe, but impressive? Absolutely. For travelers, especially American cruisers who love comfort and function, you'll appreciate how these rooms are engineered. Whether you're a retiree seeking stress-free adventure, a solo traveler craving quiet, or a couple on a much-needed escape, your cabin is a silent warrior, making your trip smoother than you realize. Stick around, because the surprises are just getting started. Number 2, the bed switcheroo. One cabin, many sleep secrets. Now let's talk about something we all care about: sleep. After all, even the most adventurous traveler wants a good night's rest after devouring 3 plates of shrimp cocktail and dancing at the sail-away party. Here's where it gets fun. When you book your cruise, they'll ask if you want a queen bed or 2 twins. But don't imagine a crew member wheeling in a new mattress like you're in a furniture showroom. Nope. Cruise beds are smarter than that. They're basically twin beds in disguise, with a zipper in the middle and a master plan. Want one big bed? Zip them together. Prefer to sleep solo? Unzip and separate. It's that simple. And if your cabin doesn't match your request when you arrive, no worries. Just ask your steward. They'll sort it out faster than you can say room service. Now here's a twist that surprises a lot of first-timers, especially those researching on forums or binge-watching cruise vlogs from their couch in Florida, Texas, or California. Most cabins actually sleep 3 or more people, even if it looks like there's only one bed. That couch, it's a sleeper. That ceiling panel, it drops down into a bunk. It's like cruise cabin hide and seek, and your steward knows all the tricks. So whether you're sailing solo, sharing with a snorer, or traveling with your grandkids, your cabin can shape-shift to suit your sleep style. You just have to know where to look and who to ask. And trust me, when you figure it out, you'll sleep a lot easier. Zipper and all. Number 3. The hidden storage game. Your cabin is playing it too. All right, let's talk about something that makes or breaks the cruise experience: space. Or more specifically, the illusion of having enough of it. Because let's be honest, whether you're cruising solo as a couple, or you're that fun-loving grandma from Arizona bringing your teenage grandkids, you don't want to live out of a tangled, overstuffed suitcase for 7 straight days. Here's the truth I wish someone told me. Cruise cabins are tiny, yes, but they're full of secret storage gems. The obvious ones are there: your closet, a few drawers, maybe a shelf or two. But the real jackpot? It's under the bed. That glorious, underappreciated gap is just tall enough for most suitcases to slide in and disappear. You'd be surprised how much that frees up your floor space and your sanity. And it gets better. Some cabins tuck drawers into benches, build shelves behind mirrors, or hide hooks in places you'd never expect, like behind the bathroom door or inside the closet frame. It's like a treasure hunt, and you're the pirate looking for places to stash your loot. Want a smooth cruise? Bring a few zip pouches, collapsible bins, or even a hanging toiletry organizer. Trust me, when your bathroom shelves aren't buried in chaos, brushing your teeth feels like a spa experience. American cruisers, especially those used to generous hotel rooms or suburban closets, are often the ones most startled by the tight space. But once you unlock these clever storage tricks, your cabin won't feel small. It'll feel smart. And with everything in its place, you'll have more time and peace of mind to enjoy the real reason you're here. Like that daiquiri waiting by the pool. Number 4. The Great Light Switch Puzzle. Cruise cabins after dark. Let me paint a picture. It's 2 a.m. I wake up parched, fumble toward the nightstand, and hit what I think is a reading lamp switch. Instead, boom, every single light in the cabin blazes on like I just triggered a Broadway spotlight. My partner sat up like we'd hit an iceberg. Lesson learned. Cruise cabin lighting isn't just functional, it's creative. You've got switches near the entrance, naturally, but you'll also find them by the bed, under the vanity, above the mirror, maybe even hiding behind the TV. And just when you think you've figured them all out, you discover that one rogue switch by the bathroom controls the mood lighting for the entire room. Some lights are touch-sensitive, others require a firm click. And occasionally, 2 switches control the same lamp, so you'll be flipping one on and the other off without realizing why nothing's working. It's like a quirky escape room, and your prize is a properly lit cabin. This is especially helpful to know for cruisers in the US who like to keep things simple and expect consistency from hotel rooms. Whether you're a snowbird from Florida, a West Coaster chasing sunshine, or a Midwest retiree seeking ocean therapy, getting cozy in your cabin without playing switch roulette makes for a smoother trip. So on your first day, take 60 seconds to explore your lighting like it's part of the adventure. Your sleepy self and your cabin mate will thank you, especially at 2 a.m. Number 5, the not-so-cool truth about your cruise cabin fridge. Let's talk about the tiny fridge in your cabin. You'll spot it tucked quietly under the desk or inside a cabinet, giving off that "I'm useful" vibe. But let me tell you, this thing is not exactly built for frosty dreams. In fact, it's more of a chill box than a fridge. It'll keep your bottled water coolish, your fruit slightly crisp, and maybe your leftover dessert from melting completely. But if you're hoping it'll freeze your ice packs or keep a tub of gelato intact, not happening. A lot of American travelers, especially those used to full-size hotel mini-fridges or the mighty fridge at home in Michigan, Texas, or the Carolinas, are surprised by this. But cruise lines aren't trying to trick you. It's just the nature of compact, energy-efficient design on a ship. Some cruise lines stock these fridges with minibar items, while others leave them empty for your own stash. Need something truly cold? Ask your steward for a bucket of ice. Seriously, they're pros at this, and most will deliver it with a smile before you even finish asking. Now, if you're sailing on a newer ship or treating yourself to a suite, you might get lucky with a more powerful cooler. But on most sailings, temper your expectations. It's a fridge with a soft touch, not a mini Arctic vault. Still, it does the job. For drinks, for meds, for that piece of chocolate cake you couldn't quite finish at dinner. Just don't expect a popsicle party in there. Number 6. The Great Power Outlet Hunt. How to charge everything without losing your cool. Alright, cruisers, this one's for all of you who can't sleep without your white noise machine, need your phone alarm to wake up, and absolutely must curl your hair before formal night. In other words, most of us. Here's the thing. Technology has sprinted ahead, but some cruise cabins are still stuck in the flip phone era. If you're sailing on a brand new ship, lucky you. You might find USB ports by the bed, an outlet or two near the vanity, and maybe even a bonus charging spot near the TV. But if your cruise was built when Friends was still airing, You might get 2 outlets. Total. Now imagine plugging in your phone, your partner's tablet, your sleep machine, your GoPro, your flat iron, and still trying to brew a cup of coffee. It's like tech Tetris, and someone always loses. That's why a small non-surge outlet adapter is your best travel buddy. It turns one outlet into 3 or more without breaking ship rules. Just don't bring surge protectors. They're banned since they mess with the ship's electrical system. Think of it like this. You want your cabin powered up, not shut down. And here's a little miracle I always pack now: a USB hub. Just plug it into one port and voila, everyone's gadgets are happy and fully charged. This tip is especially helpful for American travelers cruising with family or friends, where everyone's got at least 2 devices. And yes, even if you're a retiree from Ohio with just a Kindle and a CPAP, those 2 outlets vanish faster than a warm chocolate melting cake. So, prep smart, power up, and thank yourself later, especially when your phone is still at 100% after a day of nonstop selfies and port photos. Number 7. Pajamas, pizza, and peace. Why room service is a cruise superpower. Let's be honest, sometimes the best moments on a cruise aren't found on the pool deck or at the captain's gala. Sometimes it's you, in your comfiest pajamas, a croissant in hand, and absolutely zero plans to leave the cabin. And here's the wonderful news that most new cruisers don't realize, especially those of us from the US, who've been trained to think room service is a luxury or comes with a hefty fee. On many cruise lines, room service is not only available, it's actually pretty darn good. Whether it's an early morning coffee and fruit plate before your excursion, or a midnight slice of pizza after too many rounds of trivia, it's all just a phone call or app tap away. No need to dress up, no need to fight for a table. Just relax and let the snack come to you. Even better, most ships are totally fine with you bringing food from the buffet or other venues back to your room. So if you're one of those travelers who likes to enjoy a quiet breakfast on the balcony while the ship glides into port, or you just want to binge-watch HGTV reruns while snacking on French fries, you can. And no one will raise an eyebrow. Of course, spills happen, so do your best to keep things tidy. But cruise cabins are built for real life, so go ahead, embrace your lazy moments. They might just become your favorite part of the voyage. Number 8. The balcony illusion. More beauty, less use than you'd expect. Let's talk about the cabin feature that makes every cruise brochure look like a dream vacation. The balcony. You know the one. Sipping coffee at sunrise, hair blowing gently in the sea breeze, maybe a dolphin or 2 waving hello in the distance. Sounds magical, right? And to be fair, it is magical for about 10 minutes at a time. Here's what I've learned after cruising with and without a balcony, and it might surprise folks planning their first voyage from places like Florida, New York, or California. Most people don't use their balcony nearly as much as they imagine. A quiet moment in the morning, a few photos during sail away, maybe a glass of wine at sunset, and that's often the extent of it. Now, does that mean it's not worth the upgrade? Not at all. If you love privacy, hate crowds, or just want a peaceful space to decompress, a balcony can feel like a breath of fresh air. Literally, it's especially lovely on longer cruises where you have more sea days and time to truly enjoy it, but just don't expect it to function like your back patio at home. There's one big surprise waiting: the wind tunnel effect. Open your balcony door and your cabin door at the same time, and whoosh, it's like you've summoned a mini hurricane. Papers fly, doors slam. It's dramatic, it's loud, and it happens to almost everyone at least once. So enjoy that balcony, love the view. Just remember, it's a little slice of serenity, used best in short, beautiful bursts. Number 9. The cabin shuffle. Yes, someone slept there this morning. All right, brace yourself for a little cruise cabin truth bomb. That cozy bed you just plopped your suitcase next to? Someone else was sleeping in it. Probably just a few hours ago. Yep, that same shower you're about to use, that same desk you'll write your postcards on, all recently occupied. It's a reality that catches many first-time cruisers off guard, especially those of us used to long hotel check-in windows back home in the US. But on a cruise ship, everything moves at lightning speed. Disembarkation ends, and before you've even finished your welcome drink, a whole new set of passengers is stepping aboard. Think of it like hotel turnover on espresso. Cabins flip fast. Staff have only a couple of hours to clean, restock, and reset everything for the next wave of guests. It's a system that runs like a well-oiled machine. And honestly, it's impressive. Now, cruise lines take cleanliness seriously. Linens are changed, bathrooms are scrubbed, remote controls, phones, light switches, they all get wiped down. But me, I still toss a small pack of disinfectant wipes in my bag. Not because I'm paranoid, but because there's something comforting about wiping down the TV remote with your own 2 hands. So don't let it weird you out. Your cabin is fresh and ready for you. But a little wipe down for peace of mind? Totally fair game. Especially if you're the type of traveler who books cruises out of Miami or Galveston and likes to start their trip feeling as spotless as the towel swan on the bed. Number 10. The TV that's actually your cruise control panel. Let's talk about that big screen on your wall. You might look at it and think, great, I can finally catch up on my shows. But then you turn it on, and suddenly you're watching a live camera feed of the ship's bow. Welcome to Cruise TV. Now, if you're the kind of traveler who cruises out of places like Fort Lauderdale or Long Beach and expects their cabin to feel like a floating hotel suite, you might be in for a surprise. Your cabin TV isn't really there for binge-watching your favorite detective series or reruns of that cooking show you love. Instead, it's more like your cruise dashboard. You'll get safety briefings, port highlights, ship maps showing where you are in the ocean, and maybe a handful of channels. Usually an international news feed, a sports channel or two, and perhaps a movie that aired back in 2006. It's less Netflix, more nautical bulletin board. But here's the upside. That screen is incredibly handy when you use it for what it's meant for. Want to check your onboard spending so far? It's there. Need to know what time the ship docks in Cozumel? It's on the map. Wondering if trivia is at 3 or 3:30? Flip to the daily schedule channel, and voila, problem solved. If you do want real entertainment, your best bet is to download shows or movies to your device before boarding. And if you've splurged on a Wi-Fi package, you can stream. Just don't expect lightning speed. So think of the cabin TV as your personal cruise assistant. It might not entertain you for hours, but it'll keep you informed, on track, and maybe even out of trouble. Number 11. Climate control or cruise mystery. The truth about your cabin thermostat. Now let's talk temperature, or as I like to call it, the great thermostat guessing game. Because believe me, if you're cruising for the first time from somewhere warm like Miami or San Diego, you're probably expecting your cabin to stay comfortably cool, just like a hotel room. But cruise cabins? They like to keep you on your toes. On newer ships, the thermostat usually works like you'd expect. You turn the dial or tap the panel, and within a few minutes, you feel the air conditioning gently whispering across the room. It's reliable, it's responsive, it's exactly how it should be. But on older ships, oh boy. One time I cranked mine to full cool and came back to a sauna. Another time I touched nothing and spent the evening bundled up like I was preparing for an Alaskan glacier tour. It's part science, part mystery, and part cruise ship personality. Here's my advice, especially for American cruisers who value creature comforts. On day 1, give that thermostat a test drive. See how it reacts and make a mental note. And if things don't feel quite right, too hot, too cold, or somewhere in weird limbo land, just talk to your steward. They've got all the behind-the-scenes knowledge and can often call in a crew member to make an adjustment. So don't suffer in silence. Whether you like it cool as a cucumber or toasty like toast, your comfort matters. Just be ready for a little thermostat tango while you figure it out. Number 12. Cruise cabin hacks. I wish I knew before my first sail. All right, let's wrap this up with some real-world wisdom, the kind you usually only learn after forgetting something really useful on your first cruise. Because while cruise ships are built to impress, your cabin isn't always stocked with the little comforts that make life easier. Especially for American travelers who love practicality and come prepared with half their home in a carry-on. So here's my don't leave home without it list. Hard-earned after more than a few rookie mistakes. Magnetic hooks are lifesavers. Since your cabin walls are metal, you can hang hats, lanyards, towels, even wet swimsuits without cluttering the room. It's like creating vertical storage from thin air. An over-the-door shoe organizer? Pure genius. Not for shoes, but for all the tiny things that end up scattered. Sunscreen, sunglasses, medications, charging cords, even snacks. It keeps everything in plain sight and off the counter. Pop-up laundry baskets are another must. They fold flat in your suitcase and give you a place to toss those sandy socks or sweaty t-shirts without starting a floor pile. Command strips with removable hooks come in handy if you like hanging up lightweight decorations or organizing your cruise ID so it's not buried in your bag. And if you're someone who wakes up disoriented in the dark, bring a nightlight. Cabins get pitch black at night. No city lights, no hallway glow, just you and the sound of the ocean. Last but not least, towel clips. If you plan on drying anything on the balcony, these little guys keep your clothes from becoming wind-blown souvenirs for the cabin next door. So yes, these are small things, but together, they transform your cabin from a temporary sleeping pod into something that actually feels like home. And once you cruise like that, you'll never go back. At the end of the day, your cruise cabin is more than 4 walls and a door that locks. It's your quiet zone after the chaos of port days. Your sunrise coffee corner. Your midnight snack sanctuary. It's where your cruise truly begins and ends, every single day. And the more you learn to use it, the more it gives back. Storage that surprises you, hacks that save space, lighting that sets the mood, little touches that turn a tiny room into your floating home. So before you pack for your next voyage, remember this: the magic of cruising isn't just out on the open deck. Sometimes it's waiting right inside your cabin, behind the closet door, under the bed, or in the glow of a quiet nightlight. Cruise smart, cruise comfortably, and let your cabin work for you. If you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Travel Vibes for more real cruise wisdom, delivered with a wink, a tip, and a whole lot of heart. Until next time, happy sailing.